Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Smith, and today we're going to be discussing raising your rates. And money is one of my favorite topics, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to cover the technical side as well as the holistic side. This is not some random thing that you're going to be doing, and I'm going to walk you through it. I've done this presentation several times. I know that it works. People have told me that it works. So rest assured, if raising your rates is on your list for this year, not just next year, but this year, we got you covered today. And we're really bringing this to you from the Association of Virtual Assistants. And our mission is just to be the most trusted source of information in the VA industry. And one of the ways that we've done this is with the industry standard pricing guide. The industry standard pricing guide is the industry standard minimum that you should be charging based on the type of VA you are. And that's something that we also provide clients with in order to allow them to understand what rates they should expect to pay at a minimum, not a maximum. So if you charge more than what's on the industry standard pricing, great job. Remember, it's the minimum, not the maximum, and that protects the entire industry as a whole. Now, in case you don't know who I am, again, my name is Melissa Smith. I'm the founder and CEO of the Association of Virtual Assistants and the PVA. I have been quoted by numerous outlets and sources, named a female entrepreneur to watch. I was the top virtual assistant consultant of the year in 2021. I am the best-selling author of 2 books, Hire the Right Virtual Assistant and Become a Successful Virtual Assistant. And there's a few things that I want you to know. One is that notice that I did all these things as a virtual assistant. I've never changed my title away from virtual assistant for any reason. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who are going to say the first thing that you need to do is change your title because an assistant can't make that much money. And I'm here to tell you that is an employee mindset. You are a business owner. You get to set your rates. You get to call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. If you don't identify as a virtual assistant, don't call yourself a virtual assistant. But if you do, then don't be afraid that that is somehow going to hold you back. I've traveled the world. I make a lot of money. I do a lot of things, all under the title of virtual assistant, because I do not have an employee mindset. No one gets to dictate what I charge. The second thing that I want you to know is that I am more likely to be quoted on money than any other topic. And that's because when you get something so wrong for so long, which I did the first year of my business, once you learn it and you see it, you can't unsee it. So that's one of the reasons I love to talk about money and I love to share. Now, this is a question that always comes up. Is there a good time to raise your rates? Yes. And when is that good time? Well, it's always a good time to raise your rates. It's always a good time to raise your rates if you understand the value and who pays for that value. I'm going to say that again. If you understand your value and you understand who values your pricing, it's a good time to raise your rates. Now, those two work in tandem. They cannot be separated because you have to understand who you're going to provide these services to and who's going to pay for them. And notice I said value, not your worth. And there's a difference there because when it comes down to it, I fully believe that you are 100% priceless. And that's not just lip service. You are priceless. There is not another person like you, nor will there ever be. You are uniquely you. That's priceless. That also means your clients are priceless, right? There's never going to be anyone like them. No one's ever going to be able to be them again, right? So how do two priceless people work together? Well, they don't work together based off their worth. They work together based off the value that you can provide. And you can put a price on value. You cannot put a price on worth. So here's some things that we're going to be covering today. One, how to determine if it's time to raise your rates. I'll get into that a little bit more. Calculating your new rates. This is not a guessing game. It's not arbitrary. There's a formula that I'm going to show you. conveying value-based pricing versus market-based pricing. We're not going to get into package pricing today. That's different, but I will cover a few tips. And then communicating with your clients successfully. And then lastly, getting your clients excited about your new rates. And yes, it is possible. So again, is it time to raise your rates? So if you understand the value and the clients who value your services, then, here's some questions that you want to be asking yourself. Are you feeling like you're at your client limit, but not making the money that you want to make? Are you raising your rates or are you building an agency? Those two things aren't necessarily the same. So you can raise your rates and build an agency, but you should know what actually it is that you're doing in there. And then just to clarify, when I say agency, I don't mean you're still quality control. That's a whole nother topic. That means you're building a team, not an agency. An agency is when specifically you are hiring more people on your team that will do client-facing work that does not go through you. That's a bottleneck process. I don't have time to get into all the specifics today, but when I say agency, I mean that you are hiring people and other virtual assistants on your team to do client-facing work that you do not have to approve before it gets sent to the client. Raising your rates versus adding another income stream. Again, you can do both at the same time, but don't confuse the two. Do you want to add a new income stream that will have a different rate than your current services, or do you want to just raise your rates and then your new services will be part of your new rates? You can do two different things. I have several different income streams. Some of them have the same rates. Some of them do not have the same rates. So just understand what it is that you're doing, because there's multiple ways to earn more income without raising your rates. And then, do you feel you know other VAs who are making more than you, even that you know less? That can be a tricky situation. I think at some point we've all kind of been there, whether in our careers or in our virtual assistant businesses. But if you feel that's you and you're wondering how they're doing it, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, and I'm going to tell you what it is. And then, do you know the real value of your work and what your client's paying for? And I'm telling you, these two things are not always the same. What we value and what clients value aren't always the same. But the good news is what clients value is often far less than what we believe. And what I mean by that is, we want to give like the sun, moon, and stars, and they're like, I just wanted this one thing. I would have paid for just that one thing. And so we work ourselves to death trying to give them everything when they really only value the one thing and would still pay you the same amount or even more just to have that one thing. And so oftentimes we find that less is not just more, less is better. And are you tired of working all the time to meet your income goals? And then lastly, here's the one that people often miss. So are you prepared to actively look for new clients? And here's the thing, particularly in my work, I work with VAs who are making to do a big leap, right? I specialize in package pricing. And when we go from hourly rate to package pricing, we're making a huge leap. But I mean, if you're doubling your prices, then are you prepared to actively look for new clients? And if you're not prepared for that, you might just want to put it on hold until you are prepared. And the reasons maybe, you might be going on vacation. You might be really busy. You might want to wait until a certain time of year where you're not doing a launch or something like that. But you just have to time it right. If you're only raising your rates like $5 an hour, this is not what I'm talking about when I say raising your rates. If you're raising your rates $5 an hour, it's, that you should just be able to do that. You don't really need anything for that. That's totally fine. But these are questions that you want to ask yourself because, like I said at the beginning, this is not arbitrary. This is a real formula that you're going to create, and you're going to do it in a complete holistic approach. And so we need to know, and you need to know how you're going to approach that. And where are the income streams coming from? Where are the new people coming from? Where are your services coming from? Where are your new clients coming from? And when you can answer all those questions, even if the answer is no or I don't know, you're far better equipped to be successful in raising your rates. Now, here is the formula, okay? You can do this for anything, okay? Anything. So I'm going to really just take some time here and slow down so you can, write this down. It is not hard. We know it's not hard because I can do it. That's how we know it's not hard. So when you calculate your new rates, you start with what do you need to make? Okay, this is what you need to make. So you when someone comes to me and says, I want to make $100,000, you know what? Actually, they don't even say that. They say, I want to make six figures. And then I have to say, okay, well, that could be $999,999, or that could be $100,000. So can you tell me what six figures you want to make? And then usually they'll say 100,000. They might say 120, they might say 150. And I say, okay, if it's a round number, I know that they have not really put thought into this. It's kind of a need/want kind of situation. So you really need to know how much you need to make. Okay. So that is you sitting down, all your bills, all your business expenses, all your taxes. Okay. That's what you need to make. Then how much do you want to make? So wanting to make could be anything. I'm not here to hold you back. I'm not here to put a ceiling on you. And I hope that you are not doing that for yourself. So really put out there, how much do you want to make? Don't be afraid to put something down, because with this formula, you can tweak it. And you know what? If you make it this year, awesome. If you make it next year, are you really going to be sad? I don't think so. So we can put that down. Okay. The next part is, so now that you have what you need to make and what you want to make, we know where we're at. Okay. So you can base your new prices based on your want, or you can base them on your need. And there's no right or wrong. You can do a mixture of both, but you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to really understand why it is that you're doing these things and how to do it. And I'm going to cover a little bit of that in a second, but I'm kind of stalling here because I want to make sure you're writing all this down and getting it into your paper. So the next part is, how many hours a week do you want to perform client work? Not your own work, solely client work. Solely client work. So if your goal is to write a book this year, to start a podcast, to blog more, to write more, to do more videos, YouTube channels, whatever that is, that's not included in this work. This client work only. How many hours a week do you want to perform client work? If you have a team, if you want to build an agency, you're going to have to block off more time for meetings with your team. It's the unspoken rule of leadership. The more people you are leading, the more people you have to meet with. It's your job as a leader to manage, to mentor these people. So make sure that you have that time on your calendar. Okay, here's one that gets left off all the time. All the time. How many weeks a year do you want to take vacation? Unless you have some kind of clause that says even when you're not working that you get paid, they do exist, but unless you have that, you need to make sure that you understand how many weeks a year you want to take vacation. So, that could be during November, it could be during December, it could be in January, it could be in the summertime. How many weeks do you want to be taking off? And then how many clients do you want to take on? And how many clients can you successfully take on? Really, how many clients can you serve, and not just, do the work, but really have happy clients and you're meeting their expectations. So I just broke this down into something that's really simple, right? I didn't set the bar low here. I just set it to something simple that I can do, kind of in my head, because like I said, if I could do this, anybody could do this, but I still use calculators. So if you want to make $50,000 a year, right? You want to do 48 weeks a year. So you want to take 4 weeks off for vacation. You want to work 30 hours a week, right? The average VA works 20 to 30 hours a week, by the way. So you want to work 30 hours a week and you only want 3 clients. 3 clients, 10 hours a week, $35 an hour. That's your hourly rate. So you're like, wow, I charge more than $35 an hour now. Great. Are you meeting your goal? How are you meeting your clients? How are your rates at? Are you taking enough vacation? Does that factor in that time? Now you can easily see, okay, if you did want to double this, right? You wanted to double it. You wanted to make 100K a year. You still wanted 48 weeks a year to work, 4 weeks vacation, 30 hours a week, 3 clients, $10 or 10 hours each. Now it's $70 an hour. That is just that simple. It's just that simple. You can play with these numbers and kind of, mix and match them if you want more clients, if you want less hours, if you want fewer hours. It's all money. It's all numbers, right? There's no emotion in this. And that's the thing that we're trying to take out. It's a matter of fact, your rates. It's not an emotional connection. It's not an emotional tie. And the reason that's important is because if someone, let's say, rejects your rates and you take it like an emotional and you're like, God, no one can afford to work with me. And like, that's not the state of mind that you want to be in. It's not the state of mind you need to be in. In fact, when someone says that they can't afford to work with me, in my mind, I'm thinking, no, it's me who can't afford to work with you. I don't care if you can't afford to work with me, but I certainly can't afford to work with you because I would be lowering my rates and I'm not about to do that. And in fact, when I go and start going into my consultation, all the kinds of other things and provide my value, right? My value, not my worth. When I provide them with the value that I provide my clients, then they often turn around and say, wow, I can't afford not to work with you. And that's exactly where we want people to be. So the next thing is value-based pricing versus market value pricing, right? So value-based pricing is typically above market. So I have package pricing and I have value-based marketing. It's not market value. So if your rates are above industry standards, you're already at value-based pricing. And so these are just important to know because you have to understand if you want to be competitive or if you want to set your prices based on value. If you want to set it on value, then you have to be able to convey that value to the client. And again, you might be already doing this, but the more you know and the more things that you do explicitly on purpose, the better off you'll be. We don't want to hide our prices. We don't want to be embarrassed to say them out loud. We don't want to be frightened. There's no need for that. All this work will make you so solidified in your pricing that you'll really start to flip the tables. And anytime someone balks at your pricing, you won't even notice them because you'll be so busy backing off yourself, being like, oh, these are not my people. I don't have time for these people who don't have to pay me. It really changes the feeling, the perception, and the reality around how your pricing is done and who your people are. Now, communicating rates with clients. This is something that a lot of VAs just feel uncomfortable doing, and you shouldn't. If you have seen the ABA industry standard report, or not the industry report, but the State of the VA industry report, we have a new one coming out as well, you'll know that the majority of VAs who have raised their prices and kept their clients is well above 50%. Well above 50%. And there's a reason why. And it's because they know their value, they know the client's value, they know where they stand with them. Okay. So, but when you're thinking about raising your rates and communicating your rates, it's also important to think about how your clients will perceive them, particularly if you run your business on referrals. This one comes up all the time when VAs reach out to me for coaching. They're already successful. They have a business that's run completely on referrals. Nothing wrong with that. But then what happens? They haven't raised their rates to their current clients. Their clients don't even know they've raised their rates. So those referrals at some point end up running dry because they're just not good referrals anymore. And so their entire business that's run on referrals, they've done no marketing, they have no lists, they have no thought leadership available, is now no good because their clients don't even know, like, that's the last client that, you know, you're working with at this rate. You don't offer those services anymore. You don't offer those rates anymore. So even if you're not going to raise your rate on your current clients, still communicating with them to keep the good referrals coming in is absolutely crucial. So will you raise your rates on your current clients? This is something that you need to really think about. There's always a chance, always a chance that you might lose that client. Is it a small chance? Well, we don't know. We don't know unless you know how satisfied and how valuable your clients actually think you are. So if you haven't had a conversation with your clients recently about how they value you, then you might want to have that conversation first. But if you already know that, then, you know, communicating with them is good. If you are like, you know what, I'm going to raise my rates so much that I don't want to speak to your clients, that's up to you. But then, you know, you're going to really need to know where your new clients are and then have an offboarding plan when you get booked again. Now, determine how much time that you'll give to your clients to share with them how you're raising your rates, how many notices will you send. I like to block off time on the calendar and, you know, offer meetings. And will you keep your prices the same and then instead eliminate services? So here's another thing that is very common. If you don't want to raise your rates on current clients, you can actually keep your rates the same, but then you can take away services. And this is something that you really need to think about, and you have to understand, and you have to look at the 80-20 rule. And the 80-20 rule is that 80% of your income comes from 20% of the services that you offer. And this is not particular to virtual assistant services. This is a business principle. It's a life principle. It's a mathematic principle. So you can look it up. It's the 80-20 principle. It's really simple. And when VAs come to me and they say, you know, I don't really know what I do. I don't really know what I niche. I don't really know this. You know, no, all my clients are different. All my services are different. I could never do that. You have to go a little bit deeper. Sometimes it can be chaos theory, but I promise you, I could find it. I promise you I can find it. So if I can find it, you can find it. You can look for it. And remember that niching doesn't have to be the actual service. It could be the client's mindset. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about eliminating services. What are the services that you could eliminate that don't impact your client's mindset? But again, these are all things that if you can just answer these questions, if you just know what you're going to do, if you have a plan and a strategy, not only will you be more successful, but you will be more confident. You will absolutely be more confident when you're raising your rates. And, you know, getting your clients excited. This is a step that's often missed. You know, we communicate with them, but then we forget to be excited for them, right? Our clients will be excited if we're excited. If we're not excited, if we're like, I don't know, I'm sorry, you know, maybe I can work something out with you. Well, yeah, that's going to give your clients pause. I mean, would you want to go on like a roller coaster and they're like, you know, I hope it works out for you. Make sure you're buckled in real well. Like, make sure those harnesses, I'll cross my fingers that you get back safe. I mean, is that a ride that you want to go on? So, you know, think about how you get them excited. Why are you raising your rates? You know, it's common to say, you know what, I want to focus on you more. I want to be able to only work with the select few clients like you. And, you know, my rates were just attracting too many people who wanted too many things with, you know, taking away my focus. I'm streamlining. I'm going to be able to give you more attention. And you know what, you can be nervous and excited at the same time, right? Like you could be nervous to get on a roller coaster and you could be excited to get on the roller coaster at the same time. You don't feel like you have to be all excited and not nervous to do something. That's just a falsehood. That's not a thing that has to be. It may never be, it may be, it doesn't matter. You can do both at the same time. Share your vision. Just like your clients share their vision, where they want to be in the future, share where you want to be. Get them excited. Um, this is also a really great way to get those referrals in. I'm really excited to do this. Do you know anyone who is, looking for these services in their business at these rates? I'd love an introduction. You can get more specific and you can say, do you know 3 people? Chances are that they do, right? But just throwing it out there, sending this email and kind of walking away and, hoping everyone's okay with it, crossing your fingers, go binge watch something so you don't, to take your mind off of it. That's not the place that you want to be. You want to be excited. You want to be able to have meetings with your clients, and you want to have them be excited with you. And I can tell you, when VAs are not working with their clients to get them excited, it's because they just don't have a pulse on their clients. They just don't know. They don't know if their clients are happy. They don't know if they're sad. They don't know if they're complacent. They don't know, their other expenses. They're just not that in touch with their business. So they're like not really sure where they fit in. And if that's you, then you need to have those conversations with your clients. They're not deal breakers. They're absolutely not deal breakers. And, finally, this isn't actually in the slides, but I want to share the number one reason that VAs feel that they're making what they want, and the number one reason that VAs feel like they're not making what they want is based on mindset. Mindset. That's the number one reason. So this webinar is really designed to help get you into that mindset space. If you do all that work, I promise you, your mindset will be, I know that this is valuable. I know what I'm doing, and someone would be foolish to let me go or to not pay me these rates. And that's why we do all that work. That's why it's not arbitrary. That's why it's both holistic and tactical at the same time. I will also share a bonus with you. We did not cover package pricing. I said that we weren't going to cover package pricing because that is a whole nother animal. I will tell you the number one mistake that VAs make when they do package pricing is tying it to hours. That is not package pricing. That is a retainer. The second mistake that VAs make when they go for package pricing is they try to create a bundle that's somehow a discount, right? Like your Costco or Sam's Club or something, right? That is wrong. That's not what you're doing when you're creating package pricing. You will lose money if you do it that way. When you create package pricing, you are actually creating a buffer in there so that you will make money no matter what. And hopefully you'll be making a lot of money versus a little bit of money on an hourly rate. So, if you want to discuss package pricing, you want to discuss your rates, feel free to email me, melissa@associationofvas.com. Happy to talk to you. If you have any other questions, if, you have a great story that comes out of this and you were able to raise your rates, I'd love to hear those as well. Congratulations to you on your business and for all you're doing, no matter where you are. I'm so proud of you. If no one's told you that they're proud of you, I'm proud of you. I know you're going to do great things, and I'm super excited that you're going to be able to raise your rates. Bye, everybody.